It's September 15th, 2008. You wake up, grab your coffee, and swipe your badge to get into the office. But the doors are locked, and the guy next to you is walking out carrying his entire life in a cardboard box. A desk plant, a stapler, a mug that says, "World's Okayest Banker." Inside the building, the elevators are only going one way, down. 26,000 employees are packing up. On the trading floor, screens are flashing red, but nobody is trading. They're just watching $639 billion in assets evaporate in real time. The largest corporate bankruptcy in American history isn't happening in a courtroom. It's happening on a sidewalk, in the time it takes to drink a cup of coffee. Lehman Brothers didn't die just because the housing market collapsed. They died because they figured out how to make risk invisible. Lehman was a zombie. Well, not that kind of zombie. Literally. Good. They made it through the panic of 1907, the dot-com crash. They became the ultimate survivors, and that survival instinct is exactly what kills them. Hey Dundee, get me my snuff first. Enter Gorilla. Sorry, I meant Dick Fuld. They called him the Gorilla, because somewhere along the timeline he decided that running the firm like a primate would make competitors scared. It's 2006. Housing prices have gone up for years, which means, according to Wall Street, they can never go down. Lehman is handing out mortgages like Costco is handing out free samples. You want a $500,000 house? Fantastic. Here's the keys. Can you afford it? That's a future you problem. No income? Approved. No job? Approved. No assets? Approved. Can you afford the house? I don't know. Can you fog a mirror? Approved. Their underwriting process was basically, trust me, bro. But how do you convince a pension fund in Norway to buy a mortgage from a Florida stripper with no income? You don't. You turn it into something so complicated that saying, "I don't understand it," sounds less professional than buying it. Enter CDOs. Wall Street took a pile of bad loans and dressed them up like luxury assets. Step 1, collect risky mortgages. Step 2, blend them together so nobody looks too closely. Step 3, slice them into layers. Step 4, call the top layer safe because it's sitting on top of chaos. Step 5, get rating agencies to nod and stamp it AAA, like they skimmed the homework in the hallway. It's basically a kid building a shaky card house and getting praised for innovation because it's tall. Or think of it like this. Someone with $100 in their wallet takes out loans just to look like they have $3,000. That was the game. And firms like Lehman Brothers looked rich the same way a guy maxing out 5 credit cards looks rich in a nightclub, right up until the bills show up. By 2007, the roof starts leaking. Housing market cracks. People with no jobs defaulting on McMansions they never should have been near. If investors notice, panic starts. So Lehman gets creative. The solution? Corporate accounting. Like shoving all your dirty laundry under the bed 5 minutes before guests arrive and calling it minimalism. Lehman's strategy was basically hide the trash, invite everyone over, accept compliments on how clean everything looks. Quietly drag the trash back out after they leave. They weren't managing risk anymore. They were managing appearances. A few people tried to sound the alarm. The mortgage exposure is catastrophic. Interesting. Have you considered not saying that out loud? It was like seeing red warning lights on the dashboard, and instead of fixing the engine, management just disconnected the dashboard. Because if you can't see the problem, technically there isn't one. Why did Fuld think it would work? Because it worked yesterday. And in finance, that's usually enough. Until it isn't. 6 months earlier, the message from government to Wall Street was basically, crash the car hard enough and we'll discuss roadside assistance. So Fuld's strategy was simple. If it works, he wins. If it doesn't, it's someone else's problem. March 2008. Bear Stearns collapses into a financial spaghetti bowl. No one can tell where the risk starts or ends. The government looks at it and decides bankruptcy is too dangerous, so they step in and save it. Lesson learned on Wall Street: if your mess is complicated enough, you don't fail, you get rescued. By September 2008, the government is done playing lifeguard. They pull Wall Street's CEOs into a room and basically say, "We're going to talk. Nobody leaves until this makes sense." By Saturday afternoon, nobody is pretending anymore. How do we save Lehman? Gentlemen, I need a buyer. Tonight, is anyone willing to buy the bank? No, Caprone. I think the question should be, how far away should everyone stand when it explodes? Hank, have you seen their books? I've seen enough. No, you haven't. It's not a bank. It's a confession. I need a number. Give me a number and we can... There's no number, Hank. Everything has a number. The number is no. So that's it. You're all just going to let it fall? It already fell. We're just the ones telling you to look down. It's a black hole, and it is pulling the rest of Wall Street in with it. The British arrive Saturday night with a number and a condition. We will buy Lehman, so everyone goes home, but under one condition. Speak, O chosen one. A guarantee. A what? A guarantee that you'll cover the loss if things go sideways. Sarge? Yes, sir. Get this man out of my building. Across town, Bank of America just bought Merrill Lynch instead. The lifeboats are gone. Lehman is drowning in plain sight. Sunday night, Lehman HQ. The trading floor that usually sounded like a war zone is silent. Nobody's here to work. It's looking like a funeral. Cardboard boxes on mahogany desks alongside cold pizza and warm beer. Traders, bankers, executives, sitting in conference rooms staring at the floor, waiting for a phone call they already know isn't coming. 1 a.m. The call never comes. Lehman Brothers files for Chapter 11. Game over. Except it wasn't the end. It was the starting gun. Monday morning. The opening bell rings. The screens don't dip. They bleed. The Dow drops 500 points. And Wall Street realizes the fire wasn't contained. It was spreading. To understand why this destroyed Main Street, you have to understand the plumbing of the financial system. It runs on something called the repo market. Every night, major banks lend each other billions of dollars for exactly 24 hours, using their assets as collateral. It's how they keep the lights on and the ATMs stocked with cash. On Monday morning, Lehman defaults. Suddenly, the collateral that banks have been using for years is worthless. Trust evaporates. Bank A looks at Bank B and thinks, "Are you holding Lehman garbage? If I lend you money tonight, will you exist tomorrow morning?" So Bank A stops lending. The plumbing of the global economy simply freezes solid. By Tuesday, General Electric can't borrow money to build refrigerators. By Wednesday, regional grocery chains can't borrow money to buy milk from farmers. The credit markets aren't just crashing, they are having a cardiac arrest. And when the heart stops pumping blood, the extremities start to die. The screens on Wall Street go black. But on Main Street, the panic is physical. A father in Nevada comes home to find a padlock on his front door. A teacher in Florida watches her 401k evaporate while standing in the grocery checkout line. Suicide hotlines light up. Middle-aged men who spent 30 years building a life sit in their cars in driveways they no longer own, too embarrassed to go inside and face their families. Over the next 2 years, 7.3 million Americans lose their jobs. Entire neighborhoods turn into ghost towns. Meanwhile, the people who caused it sit in Washington and shrug. Dick Fuld gets hauled before Congress. Asked how he missed the collapse, he claims he didn't see how bad it was. Then he heads back to his multi-million-dollar estate. Others write books, pay token fines, and move on with their lives. No handcuffs, no prison cells, no consequences. Just LinkedIn profiles that still say, "Visionary Leader." The panic fades. The headlines disappear. And the system rebuilds itself exactly as it was. Because the people who crashed it never lost their greatest talent. making recklessness sound like expertise. A 158-year-old institution vanished in a weekend. The men who burned the house down walked away with the insurance money. Some got book deals, one started a hedge fund, everyone else got the bill.